Hey guys, what's up? Nick here once again, and we are starting a brand new category of tier lists today. This is going to be all of the levels from every Twisted Metal, but of course I'm going to separate them from video to video. So with this video, we are starting out with all of the levels ranked from best to worst in Twisted Metal 1 that came out in 1995. I created this tier list myself. I'll have a link in the description below if you'd like to create your own version of this tier list and post it in the community Discord, which will also be a link in the description below. Definitely hope you join there. That being said, getting into it, I was actually astonished to find out that there's only 6 levels in general in Twisted Metal 1. And the only secret level that I could find or figure out was a passcode to play on the arena map against multiple characters instead of just one in the tournament. So it really is amazing to me that the first game only had 6 maps and it was as replayable as it is. It just kind of goes to show that even though the game only has 6 maps in it, it has a lot of replayability because of its gameplay and also its difficulty. If this game was not as hard as it is, I don't think the tournament would have been as long or feel as long as it is. I feel like every time I play the tournament in TM1, it usually takes me a good 45 minutes to an hour to complete. And that's roughly the same amount of time it takes me for almost every Twisted Metal going through a single tournament. And those ones have anywhere from 8 to 12 to who knows how many maps. So compared to that, going to 6 is pretty insane to me. But that being said, we're going to start out with the first map in the game, the Arena. This one's pretty iconic. You know, a lot of people will look at this and be like, it's probably the most lame map in the entire series. Of course, excluding Washington, D.C. from TM3. However, the Arena, it's iconic because not only is it the very first map we've ever experienced in Twisted Metal, but it really forces you to be up close and personal with only one other character in the tournament. We have never seen that since, except for if you consider a boss battle being a one-on-one, of course. But this is just straight up a regular car versus a regular car. You have one opponent, when you defeat them, it's on to the next match. A lot of people might look at this and be like, yeah, it's pretty lame, looking at the future games and coming back to this, it does feel kind of lame, and it's way too quick. It's over in literally 2 minutes if you're decent at the game. So yeah, I'm probably gonna have to have it a little bit lower on the list, but I am gonna bump it up to B tier just because of how iconic it is. It's the first map in the entire Twisted Metal series, and I do like the close quarters combat, and the design of the map actually looks pretty cool. Moving on to the Warehouse District. This is where the game really opens up to its LA scenery, including the major city feel of the game. And this is where Twisted Metal really shines because it really does make you feel like you're in a decrepit city that's falling apart and you're fighting other people to the death. Now, because of limitations of PS1, of course, this map is not that large. You can get through the entire map within about a minute of driving around. But other than that, to be completely honest, the map is pretty bare bones. There's not much I can really remember off the top of my head that really comes to mind that's special about this map. Other than that, it's the very first, like, decrepit city type map in the Twisted Metal universe. I have to give it a couple legs up for that, and it is, of course, larger than the Arena, but yeah, it doesn't really feel like it's any more special than the Arena other than just being a little bit larger. So because of that, I'm going to have to put it in the B tier as well. Moving on to the Freeway, this one might ruffle some feathers. I know there are some dedicated diehard fans of this map, but to me personally, I've never been a fan of this level. I don't know what it is. It might just be because it's pretty bland. It's literally just a giant circle that continually loops back and forth. It's a freeway system, but there's no exits or anything. You are stuck on this one freeway, and it becomes pretty irritating when you get into a fight with multiple people at once because there's nowhere to run and hide. There's nowhere to get away, and most of the missiles in this game have homing capabilities, so yeah, you're pretty much, it's luck based at that point, and you're trying to get away and you can't because you can't hide anything or do anything to get verticality on anybody. So that's why the Freeway, of course, it has that iconic design to it. I like the look of it. It's got really cool features and lighting effects and stuff for PS1. But in general, I've never been a huge fan of it. I don't think it's trash tier by any means, but it definitely is lower than the Arena and Suburbs for me. Next is City Park. Now, replaying these maps, I actually, as a kid, never noticed this, but today, as I was going through and getting the footage for this, I realized they really just stripped all of the assets from the warehouse map and put it into City Park and just added a river in the middle with a bridge and an ice rink. So in reality, it's the same map, just with some added benefits to it, added features. So it's clearly the better version, but it's still funny to me that they got away with that, just kind of ripping all the assets from one map we already played, bringing it back, and then adding a couple things to it and calling it a whole new level. So it's one of those things where, like, I should be bumping it down a little bit because of that, because it's just reused assets from a previously already played level. However, I'm going to look at this objectively and say, because it is a better version of that said level, I'm going to have to bump it above that one. So City Park is going to be A tier. Next is Assault on Cyberbia. It's kind of a weird name. Some people also just call it the Canal. In a way, it makes sense why people have the two different names for this one, because it does feel like it could have been two separate levels. I don't know why they put it all into one. I think they were just getting a little ambitious. They were trying to make the maps bigger than they ended up being. So this map starts out in a suburbia, just like the name of it, where you're running through houses. It looks really cool. This is by far the biggest map in the game, and you can crush down houses, go through churches, and it's really that classic Twisted Metal feel of just destroying a post-apocalyptic world in the Twisted Metal contest. However, there's also another section. There's actually two more sections to this map. So one section is a giant canal, where essentially it's like a sewer canal, or like the LA River, if you look at it that way. And apparently you can drive through there, put oil slicks down, and you can get some weapons and stuff through there. It's kind of bland though, pretty boring. And then there's another section off of that where it's literally just an added version of the highway loop from the highway level. So it's weird. It's like this map is almost three maps in one if you look at it that way. And is that necessarily a bad thing? No, I definitely don't think so. I think that makes this my favorite map in the game personally, because of how big it is and how unique it is and how many different sections of it there are to fight in. But because they could have separated into three separate maps, it really does make it feel a little bit like a bummer. I guess it's one of those things like what could have happened if they did separate this into three levels. But that being said, because the map is cool for what it is, it has those cool features in it, and I like the idea of driving through the regular suburbia life in the Twisted Metal contest, I'm going to have to bump this one up to an S tier. And last but certainly not least is the Rooftops. This is the classic first ever rooftop level in Twisted Metal history. As you know, they've pretty much added a rooftop level of some sort in every single iteration since, and rightfully so. I mean, it makes sense, it's an interesting concept, and it has a very risk and reward feature to it where if you fall off the level of the map, you die immediately, but you can also push other opponents off the map to kill them instantly. So yeah, it's a really cool concept. I love the design of this one. That sunset in the background is very iconic. You can jump through the middle of the like pyramid section, I like to call it, and you unlock a whole new charging pad down there and a hallway that busts out onto another building. It's a really cool design map. It's probably the one I think they put the most work into next to the previous one. And of course, it's iconic because you battle the only boss in the game, which is Minion, and he's really scary, really strong. And they even added a feature where you literally cannot push him off the map. Like the game will glitch out and send him put him basically back onto the rooftop with you. At least I've never been able to push him off. Maybe somebody out there has, but yeah, I've never been so lucky. Because of that though, I don't really have any complaints with the rooftop map other than that it's a little bit more difficult than any other one in the series because of the limited and, in my opinion, kind of cruddy controls of this game. So I'm going to have to give it the S tier ranking. Mainly because, again, I think it's one of the best maps in the game. It's right below Assault on Cyberbia for me because Assault on Cyberbia has so many extra features to it. It has like the 3 levels in one. That's the only reason I'm bumping it above Rooftops. Otherwise, these both have a really special place in my heart, and I love the look and feel of this map. It's very scary. It's very difficult. So yeah, I think S tier is definitely a good place for it. So that was my full tier list of the levels in Twisted Metal 1. Always remember that my opinion does not matter. If you do disagree with me, that is totally fine. Let me know your tier list in the comment section below, or like I said, check out the description, go to the tier maker website and make your own tier list out of the one that I made here and post a screenshot of it in the community Discord. I would love to see your guys' tier list on this. So that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Leave a like, share, support as always. Subscribe so you don't miss the next one. We'll hopefully see you in the next one. Peace out. Thank you guys so much for making it to the end of the video. Before we head out, I want to give a huge special thank you to our channel members: Walking Idiot, LexiSpec, George Rothing, Thomas Hernandez, Really Riley, Hybrid Fury, Winners 989, Chansey, Infernus Cantaloupe, Drew Desadu, UAC 9000, Daniel Alberto, Smitty Werbenjager, Banana Slamma, Kelvin Fogiato, Clipsnot Corny, Toadsucker, Jacob Owens, ATS Java, Tatsoko, Yuba Crew Smash, Hail Rider, Big Daddy T Games, Riker Maltov, Cody Dorikson, Cybershade EDM, Forest Red, Thomas, Wade Lady, Saint Jimmy 528, Thrasher the Black Stallion, and Brandon McKagan. I hope I said you guys' names right. If I do butcher them, let me know in the comment section below this video and I will be sure to fix that for next time. But yes, these are amazing people who are wanting to support the channel and the content here. And if you want to do the same, you can click the little join button underneath every single new upload. And in becoming a channel member not only supports me and the channel, but also gives you a ton of perks in doing so, including early access to new content and being a part of exclusive polls and information that other people would not be able to access. So, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thank you again so much for the love and support, and we'll hopefully see you in the next one. Peace out.